Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7 by 7 So we're continuing our series of looks at the Last Jedi novelization, and today we start our descent into the final battle on Crate. This is the showdown between the First Order and the Resistance, and it turns out that the Resistance efforts owe a lot to the old Rebel Alliance, and thanks to the novelization by Jason Fry, we find out that the Rebel Alliance kept a lot of secrets over 30 years, especially in the person of Princess Leia, now General Leia, and Admiral Ackbar, and others in the former Rebel Alliance that did not share all of their secrets with the New Republic. And that actually seems like a strange thing to say in a way, because Admiral Ackbar was deeply involved at the beginning of the New Republic and fighting the Imperial remnants that were active in that first year after the Battle of Endor. And Leia also was very involved until she kind of went off the reservation on things a little bit. It just so happens that I'm rereading the Aftermath novels right now, and so I'm deeply immersed in that whole year prior to, or year after, the Battle of Endor, I should say. And according to what we get in the Last Jedi novelization, the Rebel Alliance shared a lot of intelligence and information with the New Republic, but the New Republic, it was Admiral Ackbar. Leia was involved in it. Mon Mothma was the Chancellor at the beginning of the New Republic. So, I mean, these are all people who were deeply involved in the Rebel Alliance. So the idea of information sharing, you would have thought that it would have been completely whole, that wouldn't have been part and parcel, that there wouldn't have been things held back, but apparently there were. So the novelization tells us that Leia and Ackbar and others held back information, held back intelligence that they did not share with the New Republic. And supposedly this was a safeguard against disaster, it was just kind of an insurance policy. But one of the things that wasn't included in the information that the New Republic got from the Rebel Alliance was the coordinates for Crate. That was something that was kept inside Leia's own secret files that also contained secret hyperspace navigational routes and locations of what are described as bolt holes and equipment caches. Basically, a bunch of Rebel Alliance safe worlds, as it's described in the novelization. And Leia and Poe are talking about this, and Leia's also taking trips back into her memory as part of this. And Poe loves the stories of the Rebel Alliance, so he is all about hearing all of this stuff too. And so there's a question of whether the codes that she has for getting into the base are even going to work, because she says the base hasn't been used since the days of the old Rebel Alliance, like way back when. So it's been 30 years that the base has been left derelict. And thankfully, it has a shield that is enough to withstand an orbital bombardment, and it has equipment there, and to some degree it's okay. They had to do some, modifications and rewiring and that sort of thing because salt corrosion and whatnot, but for the most part it was shielded and intact, so they actually had a base that they could work. There was some fear even that they were going to be able to get the door up and down to be able to get inside and then to seal themselves inside, but thankfully they were able to do so. And if you're not familiar with, or you could use the reminder about Leia's long-standing association with the planet Crate, that goes all the way back to the events of the novel Leia, Princess of Alderaan by Claudia Gray. When she was 16 years old, that was when she discovered that her family was deeply involved in the funding and support for the Rebel Alliance, her father and her mother both, and that was how she started getting involved with it. She traced, I'm not going to tell you the whole plot of the story, but basically, let's just say they didn't cover their tracks as well as they might have. There was some records that got archived elsewhere where she was able to track some shipping manifests, I believe it was, and something about ships that had gone through the Imperial space station in one particular place that had been attacked, and she figured out, something weird is going on around Crate, so let me go fly out there and see what's up with it. And she ends up getting captured by rebels on Crate who happen to be commanded by her father, strangely enough. And what a shock that is, but it's also exactly what she hopes for, and it's ultimately her destiny to be involved in the Rebel Alliance, to lead it, and then ironically to hold back information and not help the New Republic with every single bit of information the original Rebel Alliance had, to hold back and to not trust even this new government, which was supposed to be the government that she was fighting for to reestablish. And yet there was that little thing in the back of her mind that said, okay, this is great, but I don't know, just in case this doesn't last, let's, let's keep an insurance policy off to the side with all of these secret hideaways and secret equipment caches and all this stuff. So for me, that little bit of secret history, like, I love that kind of stuff. And the fact that it's Leia masterminding some of this, that just makes me love her all the more. And that is going to do it for the meat of the podcast today. There's going to be a little more on the audio version at sw7x7.com/iTunes or wherever you like to listen to podcasts. But for now, it just remains for me to say thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.